Agree. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to an edition of the Vicktory Life Legacy Spotlight. Today, I have two great brothers on the show, two longtime guys I've known for quite a bit of time, who I've seen their growth and excellence and maturity and motivation and hard work. Super trainer, my brother Raymond Washington, also standout athlete, former Osbourn High School legend, former Dallas Cowboy, now Canadian football standout, Lucky Whitehead. How you guys doing, man?
I'm great. How you?
Good.
It's good.
How you
it's
doing,
good,
bro?
Man. So we've been trying to do this, but Lucky, you are always on the go. Every time I see you and Raymond, you guys are training, moving furniture, flipping trucks, and running. And then next thing I know, I'm like, Raymond, I got to get Lucky on. And he was like, yeah, I know, but he's got to go up to Canada, and you're training and you're scoring touchdowns. But I speak for a lot of people, Raymond and Lucky, when I tell you both love and respect it. Raymond, I'm going to start with you. I met you several years ago through our good friend Eric Thompson when you moved over here from Oklahoma, and I started working with young athletes. Man, you have worked with some of the greatest athletes in Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland area. But before all of that, you are just a mama's boy from Oklahoma.
You know it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Talk about what it was like moving from Oklahoma, and just talk a little bit about your family life, because your family is very important to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, as you said, been here in Virginia about 15 years now. And when I first got here, it was a hard transition because, like you said, I'm very close to my family, and it was hard to, transition. But meeting brothers like yourself, it made that easy. But my family's everything. That's number one for me, first of all, next to God. So it's definitely a hard transition, but being around people like yourself, Lucky, and his family, and now my family here too, that I was, blessed to have when I, decided to settle down and get married. That was, a big part of me making an easy transition. But yeah, family is my first and foremost. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, man, you definitely love your family. I remember when you and your beautiful wife Bets got married. It was around the same time you found out she was pregnant. You guys were driving back. I was still doing adult flag football. I was playing the adult flag football league up in Dulles, and a major snowstorm was coming to the East Coast. 30-something inches. And Raymond was like, yeah, man, I got to go visit my family. I said, Raymond, you and Bets don't need to do that. Stay here. You said, nope, we got to go, bro. And some people don't know this. You are a man of faith.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
You drove that little car. You and Bets up in that car. Do you remember that?
We made it. Well, bro, you got a great memory. I'm telling you, that was one of the most challenging travels I ever made in my life, and I've traveled a lot. Yeah, but we fought through it, man, and just thank God we had no wrecks, nothing happened. We made it. It took us. It should have took 24, but it took us 31 hours. So, but we made it. So it was good.
Yeah, that's when I knew Bess loved you, because some women would be like, "Yo, you on your own."
Yep, right. Real talk. Yep. She fought through it. So we found out she was pregnant on the way there. It's crazy.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Lucky. So this is special for me, man, because like a lot of people around Manassas and Prince William County, Raymond and I are older than you, and I've seen your growth and maturation process, man. I saw you play high school ball, but before the touchdowns and plays at Osbourn and college and pro football, you were just another kid around the way in Manassas just trying to fulfill your dream, man. Let's take it back to youth football when it all started, man. What made you get into football, and who were some of the biggest influences on your life?
Well, when I first, when I first got into it, I was 5 years old. I had plenty of energy just running around. My older cousins were into football, so I kind of had no choice, but to learn and grow the sport. And then I kind of found out I was a little faster than everyone else when I was like 5. Yeah, I got a handoff, and coach trying to, at 5 years old, coach trying to tell you what to do. They give you the ball and they say do this. And my first game I was on the Eagles. I got a little sweep, and I kind of circled the defense, took it to the sideline, and that was that, right? So as I got older, You know, I just was learning the game and just, like I said, being around my family members and watching them play. You know, neighborhood legend Brandon Hogan. Yeah, I mean, that's a brother of mine that grew up with me. And, you know, watching him was definitely a big influence in my life as far as the game of football.
Shout out to Brandon Hogan. I coached with him a few years with the Commonwealth Warriors, saw him play as well in high school. And you, like my family, you know, the Vicks,
Yeah.
you guys got a very deep legacy of great athletes, man. Brandon was
Yeah.
fun to watch as well. Lucky, I do want to ask you this, man. You know, you talk about your speed, man. I've seen it up close. You and I, me and Raymond, you and all of us at your football camp at Osbourn, and you raced all the kids. And it was like 100 kids out there, and you beat them all. But just to talk about, you know, your time playing football on a youth level, though, and you know, you talk about so many guys aspire to get to where you've been. Was that always your goal, or were you just having fun playing ball? Because some kids now with social media and recruiting, everybody's focusing on the end game. It seemed like when I watched you, you were just having fun, enjoying the process. Was that
Yeah.
always your end game goal, or were you just playing and having fun?
Beginning, like when I was first starting, it was just having fun. You know, as you get older, you start to learn more about NFL and those type of dreams. At the time, I wasn't really worried about it. I just loved the game, and I just, like I said, was having fun. As I got older, I never took a break. It was always something I was doing, and I was good at it. So, and I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So once I did get in like elementary school, that was like my end game goals. Like, I'm not focusing on anything but that. I mean, yeah.
No, no. And that's one thing I love about you is your humility. And even as much as you've accomplished, you remain, you know, that great guy that appreciates the game, that appreciates the people that love you. Raymond, so when you and I met through Eric and Zach Terrell, Big Zach,
Yeah,
and
oh,
all
yeah.
the people, yeah, all the crew,
The
we
legends, the
started
legends,
Tony Space and all of us. We
the
started College
legends.
Prep World. And I
Yes,
met
sir.
you. Eric was like, "You got to meet my trainer, Raymond. You got to come over
Mhm.
to was it the Dell City Rec Center or
The
no
Dell
the
City
Chin
Rec Center.
was it
Yep,
the,
yep.
no it was
The Chin Center.
the Chin
Chin
Center.
Center. First, yeah.
So I came in there and I see all these athletes, Lucky Whitehead, Dominique Terrell, and all these guys. How did you meet Lucky? How did you guys connect?
Man, to me, it felt like fate. I mean, it was one of those where he showed up, I think, to a couple of workouts. The coach, I think, Space, somebody brought him and a lot of other guys, and it was like, all right, let's see what they got. He got out there. I started seeing him move. I'm like, okay, this dude moving a little different than everybody else. And I noticed his speed just moving fast, was picking up on everything quickly, and just very talented. So I think at that point it was like, all right, let me watch these boys grow. And I watched him, you know, from that point on, and he was just excelling way faster, way faster, way faster. Not to put anyone else down, but it's just you could see the special athlete he was. So at that point, we just, you know, start connecting after, and you know, his rest is history. So
Did you know Raymond? Because at that time you were training. It's funny how you mentioned fate and how God works things out. You were training him and a lot of the standout players, not just in our region, but in the state. It just happened that way. And then all
yeah.
of a sudden, every year, you kept training more and more players that were going off to college and going off to some even to the pros. But we'll talk about it in a second. But when you saw Lucky,
Mhm.
what's one of the things you loved about him? Because you and I both know, and Lucky knows this now, but he was a young man back then. You and
Yep.
I both know a young man or young woman will say they want to be great, but then
Right.
they're not touching the line, or they're cheating a rep, or they're not
Right.
putting that work in. What made
Right.
Lucky great to train? What made him just individually? What did you like about him?
His grind, like his silent grind. He didn't say much. You know, he wasn't at the time. He wasn't posting much, but you know, now it's a way different reasons. But at the time, it was like you could see the humility. Like his humility was huge. You could see the hunger. Like you knew something was inside of him, and he just wanted to see more. He wanted to do more. He wanted to be the best. Then that part right there for me, it was like, all right, I'm gonna train the best. So we literally just gravitated to each other. Like he come home and where you at? You know where I'm at. Let's get it. So he put me and get the work. But it's just like every single time he would just more and more hunger, more and more hunger. He knew what the things he wanted to work on, and we just would work on it. He get better and better.
Yeah, Lucky. When you met Raymond, you know, you over in that gym that they used to use over at the Chin Center. with that little them hardwood floors, and it's hot. And I was telling one of my kids the other day how, you know, Raymond is my brother. And I let him train me once because I only needed one example. And I could not move. And again, I've been, you know, you guys know me. I got a career. I couldn't lift my arms up. I couldn't even get juice.
Yeah.
Raymond had me hurt, man. Like, what was, you know, what made you keep going back to Raymond? What were your thoughts? What made him, because a lot of these guys will bounce around to school and trainer to trainer, but you have stayed committed. What did you like about Raymond when you first met him, and what made you stay committed?
Yeah, so at first it was just, obviously I had my like school commitments and stuff like that. So outside of that, like the all-star stuff, that's how we kind of got close. Once I left and went to college, that's when I started gaining weight and really getting into weightlifting, right? So once I left there and went to the pros, I was okay, this is how they do it, boom, boom. So once I started to come home more, I'm like, bro, we need to work out again. Like, we need to get back right. And we had one workout over at Gold's Gym over there in Liberia.
Go ahead, man.
And some of the workouts we were doing in the league, but our reps were lower. So I come back and Ray was like, yeah, we need 20 of those. And I was like, hold on. Like, we don't even do that in Dallas, bro. So I'm doing them. And I get home and I feel like I ripped my pec. I swear I felt like I ripped my pec. And I ain't never felt like I've been working out. So I'm like, I called Ray. I said, yo, what the hell we was doing? Because my don't hurt. He got a little concerned. It went away. It was just soreness. But, you know, at the times, it was just like, all right. So sometimes I'll be letting them know, I ain't doing 30 reps. I'm going to do about 20. I know this is good for me. You go ahead and do your.
Don't work, though.
Yeah, no, but, you know, just the energy we bring when we in the gym, the professionalism, you know what I mean? We don't, like, you can be just starting football or, you know what I mean, be in your 20th career of football. You know what I mean? We're going to treat you the same. We're going to grind the same. You know what I mean? And that's how we get it in.
No doubt. No. And I feel you, Lucky. And I love that about Raymond too. And Raymond, you know, this question's for you. When you train people, you look at them, you assess what they need, and then you get them to a certain point where they're maximizing their potential. Let's just talk a little bit though about some of the guys you've trained. I mean, do you ever just take it? Because I know you and Lucky, it's amazing how you both walk in humility. Because, you know, Raymond, you don't post, and some of these guys are always walking around with their shirts off on Facebook and Instagram and talking about, I put this many guys. But, you know, I put it out there for you. You have trained some absolute beasts, some dogs. I mean, you talk about Deshaun Hand, Tim Settle Jr., Greg Stroman, Ricky Slade Jr., Lucky Whitehead. You've trained guys at the Michael Vick camp, guys from all over the country. You got a great group right now from Unity Reed, those guys over there, and some other guys from Northern Virginia, from Patriot and other schools. Why do you love what you do?
Great question. The process. To see somebody go from being okay, average, maybe even good, and watching them build confidence as they build whatever we're working for, be it size, be it strength, speed, you know, mental capacity. Watching these guys grow is rewarding. Like, I feed off of it, and if we feed off each other, it in ways that keeps me young too. So I just love the energy, like you said, when they bring it to us. Like, when these kids come in, they're like lost, you know, but when they start to get the confidence, okay, I'm building some muscle, I'm starting to see myself get faster, I'm going to camps and coaches are watching me now. To watch that process, man, it's life. It's everything to me.
Yeah, I saw a picture. You post pictures, but for you, it's always about the kids. I saw a picture of my youngin' over at Michigan, Blake Corn. And
yes, sir.
And like Lucky, I remember Lucky when he was, you know, a scrawny young man, just building, just fast and running out there looking like my cousin. Now, you know, I seen Lucky and Blake Corum. I said, man, they look like Greek gods, bro. They look illegal. Yo, Blake. Same thing with Amari Campbell and Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
Those guys, again, I've known them pretty much since they were young. And then all of a sudden I look at them now, man, it's amazing. You talk about the process and the impact, and it shows not just in their scholarship offers, but also the fact that all those guys I mentioned, Corum, Amari, Sean, Lucky, Ricky, they all are respectful. And you get them to buy into your program and to give more than they think they can give, which is the sign of someone that really cares about their clients, their kids. And it's not just business to you, you know?
No, and that's the thing that's different for me. I don't look at them as a number or just a name. They're family to me. You know what I mean? These guys, they come in, I'm gonna treat you just like I treat him. I'm gonna treat you just like my son who sleeps in his room upstairs. You family, like there's no other way I could see it. I don't see you as a friend. I don't see you as somebody else who coming in to get trained. No, you family. So I'm gonna treat you just as such, which means I'm all in your business, right? I'm all in your business. Yeah, we get real personal. So, but you know, the parents, they see it, they love it, and you know, we can go to lunch together. You come over, have dinner, everything. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that about you, and I know those kids love it too. Those young men and young women. Lucky, before we talk about your pro career, let's talk about, you know, Osbourn, because, you know, I've done a lot of work with the Osbourn football team, the high school, with the at-risk youth, a lot of the kids. I'm at Osbourn a lot. You mentioned your brother, Brandon Hogan. You guys were at Osbourn. They had a winning season last year, but I remember when I moved up here in 2000, 2001, Osbourn was just winning, and they were on top. I mean, they went to states. Talk about your time at Osbourn and playing for Coach Schultz, man. I know he helped that camp we did for your Lucky Whitehead youth camp. And I've always considered him a top-notch coach, but just talk about what it was like playing at Osbourn. What are some of your favorite games or matchups? Just reflect a minute about when you were playing at Osbourn.
Yeah, it was amazing as far as, you know, just being around my teammates and, you know, us winning like week in and week out, just grinding. Just like to look back on it and just think about the work that I was putting in now and the work that I'm like then is like not even comparison. So I could just imagine what I could have been even more when I was in high school, right? But it was so fun. We had a ton of athletes around me. So we was always just competing and just grinding, right? Big rivalries with Stonewall. Battlefield was definitely one of our, like, I love playing them. It was just well-sounded. Like, they ain't have like those guys, but everybody listened on their team, so they won. Feel me? Like they handle business every single week, and I love playing them. Used to love going to the basketball. Well, I was playing basketball, but I got the games and just being out, and you see Stonewall kids, and they just swear they could beat us. Being around Coach Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson. Shout out to Coach Mike Johnson. That's my guy.
Big shout out.
You know what I mean? Being around him on the sidelines, just his energy. It was just all rewarding for me, and everybody just, you know, we all came together and just I had a hell of a 4 years over there in Osbourn.
You did, and we talked about Schultz, but Mike Johnson, I met him around the same time I met Raymond when we were doing the college prep world 7-on-7 teams. He's got a great offensive mind, wouldn't you say? Like, he knows the game, right?
100%, man. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, every coach that was over there was amazing. You know what I mean? I can't knock that from anybody. You know, we had an amazing staff, but like just the energy he brought outside of coaching was amazing for us. So like we had our Coach Schultz break down football stuff with you, but you wanted to talk other things about life, about outside of football. You know what I mean? Your personals. I mean, that was the man to go to. And even if you're in the game, come game time, man, he talking trash with you to the other team. Referees gonna hear you. Listen, referees gonna get it. Teammates gonna get it. Cheerleaders, whatever. Parents. Coach Mike was gonna talk his trash, man. And that energy for me when I was growing up, it just sparked us.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Coach Johnson talking trash. I seen that firsthand. We went up to Townsend for a 7-on-7 camp. We lost in the Final Four. It was like 60 teams, man. He was offensive coordinator. He ended up getting a penalty. I don't know if he got kicked out, but he was in that ref's face. And he was like, I mean, I'm not going to repeat everything he said because it wasn't anything ignorant. It was just, he's quick with his tongue and he was letting it be known his credentials. But you're right, Lucky, about people feeding off that because the kids fed off that. And he's able to still coach even though he gets intense, man. But Lucky, also, man, you mentioned your 4 years at Osbourn was a great experience, but unfortunately, a lot of kids don't get to go to the next level. You went to college and pro. We'll talk about pro in a second, but who recruited you and how'd you end up? I'll let you tell everybody where you went to college to, but how'd you end up getting recruited? Because some guys, you, Raymond, whether you're in Oklahoma or Newport News, where I'm from, wherever, we all know some really good players that don't get the opportunity because of their grades, their attitude, injuries, politics, but you were able to overcome a lot of things some guys in Manassas aren't able to. So who recruited you and where'd you end up going?
Yeah, due to my grades, I ended up going to junior college. And after I went to Dean Junior College in Massachusetts, Franklin, Massachusetts to be exact. And once I got there, it was just kind of like, okay, this is the first door you got to go through to get through the D1 door, right? So I got there and it was kind of just mostly business for me. All the faces was new. I didn't know nobody. Obviously I'm not from there. But I knew my purpose, like while I was there, and I handled business and I graduated early. I won a championship my freshman year there. And then once I left there, I started getting more scouts came, especially after my freshman year. And then I had a scholarship offer from UConn, ODU, FAU, UNC Charlotte. And there was one other school that I had in my list. But if anybody know me that's like from youth football, they know Lucky wasn't gonna play in the cold. So that's why it was real shocking when I went to Massachusetts. And and surprisingly, like during our season, I think we had 8 games. We'd never played in the cold. So like it wasn't cold until after the season. So once that happened, I went on a few visits and I went to UConn on an official visit and it was freezing. Me and my mom was out there freezing. I ain't care about the score. I ain't care about the atmosphere, nothing. I looked at my mom, I was like, I ain't coming here. I ain't coming here. That next week we flew down to Florida Atlantic and I was like, this it. That's it. So yeah, I had a great time down in Florida Atlantic, Boca Raton, Florida. And it was just a no-brainer for me. It was definitely another home.
No doubt. Raymond, when you saw Lucky going through having to go the JUCO route and then him choosing his schools, did you stay in contact with him, mentoring, calling, texting? Were you still there for him the whole time?
It was actually very hit or miss. As a matter of fact, we kind of lost a little contact because he had a lot of moving pieces, and as we did as well with our company, College Prep World. It was just a lot of keep an eye on without trying to get in the way. So not as much as as I would hope that would be, but we definitely redeemed it the time wise. But no, not as much as you'd think. But once he got to FAU, I was
because I remember you going down to FAU to see him. I saw the pictures by the bus and y'all were taking pictures. What was it like seeing him play in college? He had some great games. I mean, what was it? Was it surreal for you to man? Because at that time, your brand, Raymond, is building. You're starting to see the fruits of your investments, where your young men and young women you're putting all that time in. Lucky's one of those first young men you had that was playing in that collegiate level and making plays. What was it like for you to see him?
Well, amazing, bro. Like he literally, he set the standard, in my opinion. And no disrespect to anyone who came before him, be it Brandon or anybody else, but he set the standard as an athlete on the field and off the field. But he was just special. Like you would see him, you know, do things on the field that pro players are doing, and you're like, all right, he got something special. He got something special. So watching him, it was like you said, surreal. It was like, all right, I'm literally watching this man about to go from this level to the next, to the highest level possible. You know what I mean? So it was special, definitely special.
Did you know when you saw him at on the collegiate level FAU that you were like saying to yourself, or did you tell his mom that he's going to the league? You know, because sometimes
I had no question in my mind.
You knew it, right?
I had no question in my mind, 100%.
Yeah,
it was definite.
You know,
it was definite. I had a couple of conversations with you about it.
Yeah, I remember.
Jack Terrell, a few of us. Yeah.
You told me, you were like, "Hey, Vic, Lucky, he's going to the league." You know, he went to your team as well, aren't you? A Cowboys fan.
Oh, yeah. What I tell you before you even accepted, I said, bro, that's my number one player right there. That's my favorite player of all time. No sarcasm. Yeah, I told him the exact thing, didn't I? Favorite player of all time, Cowboys.
No doubt, man. It was cool. So Lucky, man, hearing Raymond say that, but at the same time, man, you know, you had to. I noticed from watching it and from reading about it and seeing it, talking to your mom and your family that's been around the, you know, around Manassas and the surrounding area, you've always had to prove people wrong. Yeah. You've always had to fight. So you went the JUCO route, and you went to FAU. They're not Ohio State or Alabama, but not too many schools are. But, you know, I remember seeing you on TV making plays and talking trash. And, you know, it's funny, you're very low-key, quiet off the field, but on the field you have a different mindset. And I've seen it, and I love it. But with that being said, you know, as your career is coming to an end at FAU, were you thinking, okay, I'm going to the league as well, like no doubt? Or were you like, well, you know, let me go ahead and come back home and get a job? What was your mindset that whole time?
I was, I felt like I had put up enough numbers, especially my senior year, to you know, to get my shot, my opportunity. I had tons of agents reaching out. You know, a lot of kids nowadays, they don't even get that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I had a great opportunity to go to Ohio just to do my combine training and stuff, my pro day training. And I ended up gaining a lot of weight. Well, not a lot of weight, but some good weight, a lot of muscle. Got faster, got stronger, got more explosive. And you know, when I came back to my pro day, I knew what numbers I needed to hit because I was watching the top guys, what numbers they were already hitting. And in my head, I already knew I had a better season than him. He had the combine just because he went to Virginia Tech. He had a combine because he went to Duke. You know what I mean? And those are higher schools, you know what I mean? So I knew what I needed to do and what I needed to put up. And, you know, I pretty much delivered. So once draft day came, I had, you know, a better opportunity as far as once the draft was over.
And then you end up going to the Cowboys as a free agent, right?
Yeah.
And you get there, and immediately you get there, there's buzz around the Cowboy camp that you're killing it. Like, I gotta ask you, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I pick with Raymond all the time. I don't really have an NFL fan. I don't have a team. I play fantasy football. I cheer for people I know. I love watching guys. I mean, I like players on all the teams. And I did, you know, play college ball. I was in, you know, mini camp and got cut. So I know personally how hard it is to make an NFL roster, even if you're drafted in the 5th, 4th, or 6th round. It is not a game. And then you go to the most iconic franchise in the NFL, and not only NFL, but also all of sports. You got, you know, Duke basketball in college. You got UConn women. You got the Lakers. You got the Patriots, the Cowboys. I mean, it ain't like you went to Centerville University. you you went to the
Right.
you went to the Dallas Cowboys, and you're there with the most outspoken receiver at the time, who still is outspoken, Dez Bryant, right? So what was camp like? You know, and were you nervous? Were you like, yo, I'm coming in here, I'm gonna make plays? Like, what was it? What was it like?
It was nerves. It was like, I mean, I was nervous. I was excited. You know, just a ton of emotions going through my head. Uh, First day we got there, we had five other receivers that was not on the team the year prior to, right? And we had one spot open, to be honest. You know what I mean? And we had 4 different receivers that came in, 4 or 5 different receivers that came in. And mind you, we roommates. So like I'm studying to know his stuff, my stuff. Like I'm studying to know everybody's stuff. And I just knew that this is really a chance right here. If you get up out of here right now, I don't know what's next. All right. So I'm studying mad hard. I'm trying to just know everything. I'm trying not to make no mistakes in practice. And if I'm making them, I'm making them going 1,000 miles an hour. So that's when you could have 2-a-days in practice. So we having like the rookie mini camps by ourselves. I think 3 out of the 5 receivers went down. So that was already the start of like, they was cramping, it was injuries, whatever.
Wow.
So I knew I had to learn a whole bunch of just positions. And I'm out there and I know it. The ball didn't have to come my way. I just knew what I was doing. And then I had we had finally left, came back, went to training camp. And when we went to training camp, I was okay, this step 2. You know what I mean? Because you can get cut in rookie camp.
Yep.
I seen that. So I'm like, this step 2. And once we got on the pads, we started having live scrimmages and was actually hitting. But like it was rookies against rookies. And we're gonna go live scrimmage and play football. So I used to put my mouthpiece in and I used to do the dirty work where it was just like, yeah, I ain't about to just run a route. I'm gonna hit this linebacker, I'm gonna hit this DN. And they seen it and it was just like, all right, well, like one time I had hit one of the wrong linebackers or something. And the coach was like, that was the wrong guy, but do it again. Bet. So it was just my mindset is a lot different than a lot of athletes. People just naturally talented. People work hard. But like I do both of those, but like mentally, I go somewhere else when I'm out there. Like I just sharpen my mind to just straight up do something to just whatever I gotta do, whatever I need to do in that moment. Cause you know, if you play football before and you in a loud stadium, when you playing and you in the middle of a play, you don't hear nothing. Everything's quiet.
So true.
So like before that, I just like I go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it just I don't know, it helps me, it calms me down, slows my game down. You know what I mean? But and like you say, like if you know me, like outside of football, like I'll talk a little bit, I'll play around, I'll joke. If you don't know me, you won't really hear much from me.
Not
when
at
we're on that
all.
football field, we talking trash. Yeah.
Oh, I seen you.
You're gonna hear me. Yep. You definitely gonna hear me on that field. So
yeah.
And I just try to get in people's head mentally. Cause like once you're there, now you're gonna make mistakes. So that's where I try to go to. But camp out in Texas was, I mean, it was amazing. It was an eye-opening experience. I had one really like nervous time, and that was when I first caught punts. Ryan Williams sat there after practice with me. I dropped 3 punts back to back in practice.
That's right. Before you finished, Ryan Williams was there from Manassas, from Virginia Tech.
Yep. It was after practice. They were punting the balls. Ball is a lot higher than you do in college. The punts are way higher. They're way more creative. The punters are. So I dropped my first 3, and he had stopped me. He was like, "Bro, relax. You've been doing this." And I didn't drop a punt after that. For the rest of camp.
Yeah. Now Ryan's a G as well, man. And I remember that too, because I like you, I saw Ryan when he was over at Stonewall. He was being coached by one of my longtime brothers and teammates, Lauren Johnson. And I saw Ryan Williams go through the same process, leave Stonewall, go to Virginia Tech, make plays. And I remember telling my wife how cool it was to have two guys from Manassas and with the Cowboys, from around here. But at the same time, there's a game in particular I know Washington football team fans aren't going to be happy about. But, after you made the team, Lucky, I believe it was either a Sunday night game or a Monday night game, but you had you had that punt return that you almost scored on. I thought you should have got scored on. You got cooked up at the end, but it was a close. Deshaun Jackson had just scored a long pass, right?
Right.
And then you got the punt return. And I felt like the entire area around the way was screaming for you. But I couldn't hear them, but I watched it. It was almost like you were being introduced to the world when you made that play because it was a primetime play and you weren't afraid of the moment. So how crazy is that no one saw except for your teammates those muff pumps in practice, and you and Ryan having that conversation. Fast forward, you make the team and you make one of the biggest plays of the Cowboys season against their arch rival. See how that works?
Right.
That's amazing, man. Awesome. Yeah. And that also started when you and Raymond grinding and all those things, the reps when Raymond's trying to kill you.
You know it. Yes, sir.
Raymond, for you, when, I remember you and I was still doing work together and you would tell me, I'm going to go out here to see Lucky in Texas and check on him. I remember you would go out there. We already stated you're a Cowboys fan, but also for you, it's not even about that. This is one of your young men. He's like a son to you, a little brother. You care about him. How was it once he made the team, seeing him with the star on the helmet? And he's not just, ran down the field on special teams. He's part of the process. Like he's in the depth chart, the 2 deep, started some games. What was it like for you? I mean, here's a guy you had from day one, and now he's in the league, man. What was that like for you?
Yeah. No, I mean, again, I say that, surreal, but that word is overused. It was special, man. I think looking back at it, it was like, I don't know if I really appreciated it as much as I do now. We always say hindsight's 20/20. Thinking back, I was like, yo, that was a wow moment, another wow moment, because he represented not just the team well, but he represented Manassas well. He represented Virginia well. Like he put on, like, again, Ryan Williams did a phenomenal job. I think he, had a great career. I think it was towards the end of his career at Dallas, which is unfortunate for him. But yeah, exactly. So, but for him to go there and, Lucky to go there and do what he did, man, that was special. Just watching it, with that, like you said, a star on the side of his helmet. It was like, yes, sir. I wouldn't want him to be on the other side. In other words, the Washington football team. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was definitely special to watch. I would have rooted for Washington, but it would have been because of this guy. But I still root for them now. Because we got a couple of our Manassas guys there now. So
yeah. Timmy and G.
Absolutely.
Lucky, man. You're still making plays. You're still putting on. So tell everybody where you're playing at now. For those that don't know, man. Because I still watch your games. And I see the returns, and I see you you jumping in the crowd. I mean, you taking over. But tell everybody where you're playing at now and when the season starts.
Yeah, I'm up in Vancouver playing for the BC Lions. This will be my first season with them. 2019, I was with Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We was off for 2020, but yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to get up there. I actually head out this Thursday, and that we've been off for a whole year. So if anyone seen me in 2019 in the crowd, listen,
tell them.
They're gonna feel all this energy, all this built up. You know what I mean? This working out I've been doing. You know what I mean? The truck pulling I've been pulling.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm coming up there to, just bring a spark, different type of culture and energy, to the team. And I just want, my teammates to be able to feed off that. And we have a great season. Everybody stay healthy and just, just enjoy it. Because once I got up there in 2019, I fell back in love with football.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this. When's the season start?
We start August 6th is our first game in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
It'll be 10:30 p.m., I believe, here.
Okay. Make sure. Well, I know I know, and I'm gonna ask you about her right now because I know your mom gonna make sure we all know on Facebook.
100%.
I want to ask you this because I joke Raymond, but I mean it with all sincerity at the same time. How much he loves his family, his wife, his son, and his mom. Like he drove through a snowstorm that only God would drive through. Jesus, to see his mom and he to see his family because you know that's just how much his mom means to him, and I respect it. I love my mom the same. Lucky, your mom is a ride or die. I met your mom when I was coaching Man, okay? When he was a little boy, when he was playing with my son Isaiah for Manassas Park, the tackle football youth league. And then we went on to the Warriors. And your mom, I see all around Manassas. She always shows me love, gives me a hug, and she loves you. And she is honest, real, and she loves Raymond. And she loves anybody that, especially young men, that are trying to get to where you are. But just talk about how much your mom means to you when you went through your ups, your downs, disappointments, challenges. Just talk a little bit about what she means to you and how she's helped you get to where you've been going to now.
Yeah, she means everything to me. You know, it's my best friend. We can talk about anything. I mean, we laugh, we joke, we cry together. But the bond is just so close. You know, I just turned 29 and she's still talking about where you at. Like, I'm in Manassas talking about where you at. She'll call my phone like, you know what I mean? Like I'm still in middle school, high school. But you know, I try to go by and see her as much as possible. You know what I mean? As much as I can, especially while I'm home. As soon as I try to text her, she don't text or call. I'm like, you know, I don't do that texting. You know, I don't do that texting with mine. She on Facebook all day. But I don't think she missed the Man Crush Monday since she got on Facebook.
She has not.
Listen, since she knew what MCM was, I don't think she missed it one time yet. And there's sometimes like when I was early in like college and I really wasn't on Facebook as much, she would call me like, "You see my post?" I'm like, "Nah, I ain't been on Facebook in a little minute."
On you.
We'll get on there. I'm like, all right. But nah, she's always been my rock. Just, you know, super, super hard on me. But it was, you know, I benefited from it. You know what I mean? I see why. You know what I mean? It's especially growing up in Georgetown South at the time. I was growing up in Georgetown South. It was a little different. Things were different. People were moving different. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm more than grateful. You know, I'm blessed, you know, to have that strong woman in my corner, you know, willing to do anything for me, travel anywhere for me. You know what I mean? And will tell me when I'm wrong. So I don't got to hear from nobody outside telling me, you know what I mean, you did this and did that. Because she going to tell me firsthand. You know what I mean? And it's great. You know, even if I don't want to hear it, I'm still going to hear it. And then after that show, you know what I mean, tell somebody else to tell me. But, you know what I mean, it seeks in and it's amazing, you know, just to have that support system, you know, and just, you know, somebody like that behind you and just willing to do anything.
Yeah. You know, Raymond, you have a similar support system in your wife, Bets. You spend you and I work crazy hours, man, sometimes 6-7 days a week. And you have a phenomenal son, same age as Lauren. And we had our youngest at the same time. And he's growing up, and you and what Bets have built has been phenomenal. But you don't do what you do when you pour into all these other young men and women the way you do without having her have your back and making sure you're supported and loved. And she's holding the house down while you're out here traveling to 7-on-7 tournaments and football games and going to see Lucky up north and when he was in Dallas. Just talk about what she means to you, man, as far as just having your back. Because, you know, everyone doesn't have that you can turn around and trust. You can go away. What does she mean to you as far as what you've been able to do, boss?
Yeah, she's my backbone, man. She definitely keeps everything, for lack of better words, erect. She's the one stands the house up. She keeps everything in check here. She makes sure that I'm good anytime I go anywhere, from home to work to travel to anything. So she's been my everything. She's literally my rock, man. man, I can't say enough about her. Like, she's in the love of my life. She keeps everything running straight. So I'm super blessed to be able to find her and have her in my life. So
No
yeah,
question.
I mean, shout out to you, Miss Bethsaida Washington.
By the way, I do want to ask you this, Raymond. I don't know if you remember this, but Lucky, Raymond has not only trained you guys, but he's trained two of my three children. And I got to get Isaiah back with him now. But Sydney had a heel injury when she was running for the Mustangs track club for Raymond G and them. And we didn't know if it was her Achilles. I don't know if he's done this for you, Lucky, but my wife, we tried everything. We tried other doctors. We sent Sydney to see Raymond because he had been training Sydney. I don't know if he hit her with the Mr. Miyagi behind the curtain stuff,
bro.
but
Come on, man.
all of a sudden, Sydney is healed and she made the Junior Olympics, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you still doing the healing powers, Raymond? Are you still like,
man? Get him. Get somebody come get him. Look, bro, you funny. I appreciate you though. No, that's love. But man, you know me. I mean, with me, training is three concepts. It's recovery, it's training, and it's recovery. Like, recovery is everything, but you have to understand what that means. Like, there's so many things to recovery: PT, to massage therapy, to literally ice baths, to Epsom salt baths, which we famous for.
I wait to get an ice bath.
Look, seriously,
I ain't been ice bath in a year and a half. Can't wait.
It's everything.
Hate it, but can't wait.
But that's the regenerator for an athlete. So just understanding what the body needs and understanding what an athlete needs, each individual, I think that's what separates us, is understanding that. And just answer your question, I've had to deal with him many times on different bothering things. I can't say injuries because it's not been injuries, but things that bothered him. He's always, right, where you at? I need to come see you. Where you at, Ray? I need to come see you. So yeah, we've been through it, but no, that's I think that's the things that make me a little more special, I guess you say. So
no doubt, man. And you did a great job with her, and I see, you doing the same thing. I'm glad to hear Lucky comes to you for recovery. I think I see you have those guys pushing the sled, and you got the trash cans around, they throwing up, and but at the same time, no. But here's the good thing. This is the great thing. They all keep coming back. They all keep coming back, man. And now you started off with Dominic Terrell and Lucky and all those guys that were in that gym. Dominic went off to UVA, got his degree, had a phenomenal career there. Lucky's doing his thing. A lot of these guys that are not playing are coaching, and you even trained some guys that are trainers themselves. Chris Garrett, who you train, he's a trainer now. It's not just about training, it's about pouring into these young men and women. With that being said, we've come to the end of our show, and I'll start with you, Raymond. You have young men right now and women who are in the same position as Lucky. They're just not athletes, but they want to go down that realm of becoming a great player, a great athlete, a great person. You talked about recovery and your philosophy, but what advice, what final thoughts do you want to share with them on what they need to be doing on and off the field court to make themselves the complete student athlete? What advice do you have for them? Some of the advice that you've given Lucky and Greg Stroman and other people like that. What advice do you have?
That's a great question, and there's many ways I can answer it. I think one of the main things is finding that support system, as Lucky talked about, as you talked about, and now I'm talking about. I think it's the most important part, and understanding what a support system is for you is on the field support, off the field support, in the workroom support. I mean, in the weight room, knowing how to use those and make those things work for you, I think is a big part of that. And what you bring to the table, what you hadn't talked about, which I'm gonna brag on heavily, is being able to have that student development piece. Like, that's character, mentality, how to move, what to expect in college, how to actually transition with your counselors. I mean, you do so much, man. It's crazy amazing how much you fed into every name you said already. You've actually been the backbone of that as well, to help that piece. I think that's very important. So.
No, well said, man. We did it together along with some other great men, man. And I get emotional just thinking about seeing Lucky beside you and what he's yet to do and what he's already done is a blessing. And Lucky, I'll end it with you. You are in a very blessed situation. You got fans. I've seen you come back to Stonewall Gate, Unity Reed. I've seen you come back to games, and even when you were injured, you had the little scooter, and kids were running down the bleachers to get pictures and autographs with you, and you signed every one. And you hug kids, you talk to young ladies, you talk to young men, you never make it about you. And that's a character strength that young men and young women need to have. With that being said, all those kids that know Lucky Whitehead, that know you came from Manassas, from Georgetown South, and you made it out and you're doing phenomenal things on and off the field, but you've also had your fair share of letdowns and mistakes, or as we all have. What advice do you have for them as they prepare to go down that same road?
I would just say that it could be you. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of long nights, a lot of long days. But why, you know what I mean, why not you? I mean, it's hard, but you know what I mean, if you love it and you know what I mean, if you enjoy it, you know what I mean, it's fun. It's a great journey to go down. And that's not even just being a football player. Whatever you want to be, follow that dream. You know, follow that passion. And you know, you're gonna have that doubt. It's not even in your mind, but from other people. You're gonna have them doubters. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have those nights where it's like you questioning things, right? You gotta fight through that positive self-talk. I do a lot of that. You know, you just gotta be able to break through. You know what I mean, and just break through the doubt, break through the, you know, the haters, whatever you got going on. It's just break through that, because it's always a way to get where you need to get to. I mean, you just got to put your head down and just grind. Because, I mean, once you're there, it's fun. Enjoy it. All them long nights and long hours is worth it. Because it's another side. I mean, it's another little light over there. You know what I mean? And I mean, like I said, just being from here, we deserve it. Shit. You know what I mean? We deserve it. And I love, you know, I love when the kids want to, I mean, everybody, like you said, we're all on our phones and we see YouTubes and we see these great athletes, these famous people. Like I said, it can be you, but it's other stuff that comes behind that. They're not just, ain't nobody just drop them off there. You know what I mean? They ain't just get on the bus and get dropped off and became Odell Beckham Jr. You know what I mean? He's been grinding too. He's been working. And, you know, I want to see it, you know what I mean, for our city. I mean, just, and you ain't got to be better than Lucky Whitehead. I mean, I didn't put out some bad things, some good things, some great things, right? Be better than me. That's what I want to do. I just want to lead by example and be able to spread that word out and just, you know, just be around it. Because, like Raymond said, man, it's 13 and a knucklehead. You come back, he 18 and got his mind right. I mean, it's different. And you know, like I said, I've been that, I lived that, I'm living it right now. So, I mean, that's it. That's good.
Nah, that's enough. That's amazing. That's real. And I could listen to you both talk all day because you guys drop some jewels, some nuggets. And I know when people see this interview, they're going to appreciate this. And I know between me and my platform and your wonderful mother, Lucky, it's going to be shared a lot, man. And I want to thank you both for jumping on. Lucky, I know you're busy. Raymond, I know you're busy. You guys got a lot of things going on. I'm busy too, but this has been a blessed experience. And on behalf of all the people that support Vicktory Life, continue to support us. Check out our YouTube page, subscribe. Also, make sure you check out for Lucky's game coming up in August, which is not that far off. If you want to know about what Raymond does, he's at the United Sportsplex in Manassas. He's trained some of the best athletes in the history of the state, and he's got some dogs on the uprise coming up. Yes. I'm not even going to name them, too many to name, and they're over there moving furniture. But again, on behalf, yeah, they be over there. I'll be looking out like, man, I'm glad I'm retired, man. But at the same time, I'm proud of you both. I speak for so many people, Lucky and Raymond, when I say you are both loved, appreciated, respected, and admired. And thank you to all the supporters of Vicktory Life. Once again, supporters of Raymond and Lucky. Like I say every episode, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, make sure you have a positive impact and you leave a great legacy. Salute to everyone. God bless. You guys take care. Thank you guys again.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.